Hey, my name's Kate. I live with chronic pain and complex chronic illnesses and have so for most of my adult life. I also work in public health and I'm pretty active in the pain community, including running a support group in my local area. The Faculty of Pain Medicine has invited me to share some of my reflections to support the launch of the Australian Standards for Health Practitioner Pain Management Education. I'm going to talk to three main points today. Firstly, my own experience of identifying and understanding chronic pain, the importance of early intervention and systemic solutions, and reflections on some of the key points in the new education standards. The start of my story is all too familiar. It started in my early 20s with things like pelvic and back pain, combined with other persistent symptoms like fatigue and nausea that didn't really seem to have a clear cause and just wouldn't go away. I spent years caught in this cycle of allied health and anti-inflammatories, referrals that just led to dead ends. Often my symptoms were treated as injuries or stress, despite continued lack of improvement. Too often I was told that I was weak, not trying hard enough, or just needed to cope better. Every test result and medical advice said I was fine, but I knew I wasn't. And for a long time, I didn't have the language to explain what was happening. I honestly hadn't even heard of the term chronic pain. I'd become so used to living with widespread pain that I found it hard to describe what was wrong, or even know what was normal and if help was even possible. It was actually when a health practitioner first validated my pain and explained to me a bit about chronic pain that options finally started to open up for helpful referrals, diagnosis, treatment, and support. I could also finally start to shift my own thinking too, learn about pain, the things I can do for self-management, and where and when to seek help for the things that you just can't manage on your own. When I reflect on these early years and the stories that I continue to hear from others, one thing is really clear to me. Pain is not something you should go through alone. Unfortunately, the places where many of us first seek help, like primary care, allied health, emergency services, our friends and family, or those endless Google searches, too often don't have the tools or knowledge to identify chronic pain or guide us to care that can actually help. You can't get the right support when you don't understand what's happening in your body, and neither do the people that you're turning to for help. I feel there's this huge missed opportunity for early intervention when it comes to pain. And I know better than most, the longer you have pain, the better your nervous system gets at making it. It gets harder to bounce back, and you lose trust and confidence in seeking support from healthcare services. It's clear that pain is a systemic problem that requires systemic solutions. That's why I welcome initiatives of national leadership, like the Australian Standards for Health Practitioner Pain Management Education. My hope is that initiatives like this can better support awareness and build more support, knowledge and skills in pain management, and that this can flow on to better patient outcomes. Some elements within the standards that stood out to me were the person-centred, biopsychosocial and collaborative approaches to care. My experience of pain really only began to shift when I felt my complex health history was really heard and practitioners could work with me, not at me. I could access the interventions that supported my unique combination of biological, social, and environmental factors that were feeding my pain. For me, this included a process of diagnoses, procedures, pain-informed exercise and mental health care, and just healing in safe and supportive spaces. I'm so heartened to see that this education is being shaped by the needs of people who experience pain. I honestly don't know where I would be without learning from others who've walked similar paths. When lived experience is respected and valued in shaping care, it helps create a health system that listens, adapts, and improves. I'm just one of many diverse voices in the pain community. There are some elements within my story and my opinions that will and won't reflect the experiences and thoughts of others. So the involvement of people experiencing pain in health initiatives, particularly from the communities that are underserved, is so important. Thanks so much, and I hope the Australian Standards for Health Practitioner Pain Management Education assist in giving health practitioners the skills and knowledge they need to work with people experiencing pain. Thank you so much.